when I was a kid, I remember growing up, there was a lot more restaurants. I remember there was, I think it was on Cumming Street. There was a little Indian restaurant we used to go to, and you'd get the thali with like the little beef, and like it was a treat because we didn't have a lot of money. So every now and then, my mom would be like, "Are we going to, you know?" So it was either KFC back then or Wishbone as a little treat. There was this little Indian place. I just remember the beef curry, like it was so soft. Like I was like, how do they make it so soft? And then there used to be a little Chinese place. I think it was like as you're going up the hill, and they used to have these really large pork buns, and you'd get it with a cup of tea. Like so, I remember back then there was actually some really great food restaurants, and then I remember going back in 2018, and there wasn't that many, and then going back in 2021 and seeing more pop up. But I also love the push towards, I think, taking different ideas and putting food flavors to it, which is what I try and do with a lot of the stuff I'm doing. Because I feel like sometimes we can be really stuck in the same thing, and we don't. You know, if people do something a little different, we're like, oh, that's different. Why are you changing it? So I'm loving that a lot of the younger people are coming through and they love it and proud of the food as well. Because I think like Fiji should be very proud of our food, and like we should not be afraid to tell that story to whoever we meet, because I think we have a fantastic food culture, and more people, the world is discovering it now, and I think it's amazing.
Talk to us about your pop-up, how that started, and what's happening with that.
So the Kana Club, I sort of launched back in 2022, straight after MKR, um, and it was basically about testing out the sort of like a restaurant idea, and how people would react to Fijian food, sort of thing. And so it's quite a mix. So a lot of times the dishes I'll take, for example, one of the dishes I've done in the pop-up is we love, you know, the waki, the sea urchin. I remember scooping it out and then eating it with like sweet potato, but I couldn't serve it to people like that. So I made a dish that was sweet potato gnocchi. So I took the sweet potato, baked it, created a gnocchi, and then the sea urchin I made like a sauce with coconut cream, cream, and eggs. So it's like really rich, and served it to people, and people are like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" Or one dish that people always love, and I'm serving it at the pop up in Melbourne. I just did a cooking demo in country New South Wales. I did my Fijian fish curry. So, but I use Australian produce. So I work with a brand called Hum to Do Barramundi, and I did a beautiful piece of barramundi that's rubbed in curry powder and salt, and then pan fried, and then I make a coconut cream curry sauce. But when my mom was still alive, and I used to cook it for her, she used to get like the spices used to get stuck in her teeth. So I would toast the spices off, and then I ground it down, and then I'd use the spices without so that it's all smooth, and then I'd blend the onion and garlic and chili and cook it through. And so it's this really beautiful sort of smooth sauce. So the Kana Club started, and then since then I've hosted about 15, 20 of them, and I basically partner with a different space. So this year I've partnered with Deus Ex Machina, which is an international brand that have a beautiful space in Camperdown. I've hosted two pop-ups with them. This one in Melbourne is amazing because I'm partnering with Queen Victoria Market, which is one of Melbourne's biggest markets, and Brick Lane Brewing, which is this amazing brewing company that's got a beautiful restaurant at Queen Victoria Market. And we're doing 3 days. The Saturday has sold out. So Thursday, Friday is tickets are still available, and basically it's four courses. I start off with I'm doing like a little spicy potato slider, basically kangisi potato, and that's just turned into a ball, and we make a little ball with it, and then we dip it in chickpea flour, like a chickpea flour batter, and fry it. So it's like crispy on the outside and the potatoes on the inside, and I put in a little bun with a cooked tomato chutney sauce. So that's the starter. The entree is barramundi kokonda. So I'm basically using barramundi to make kokonda, which is no one's ever tried it, and it's actually delicious. I've done it quite a few times now. Barramundi kokonda with the sweet potato crisps, and then the main is the barramundi fish with a coconut cream sauce, fresh tomato, cucumber chutney, and rice. And then for dessert, it was about like I had to create something that was sort of easy for people to sort of eat. So I've made a dark chocolate and coconut cream tart. So using it's just dark chocolate and coconut cream in a tart, coconut toffee and galu sauce. So basically like coconut caramel sauce on it. and that's the what do you call it? And the first, so Saturday is sold out. Thursday and Friday tickets are still available. And basically each night we have a panel discussion and we're having a conversation about produce, about food, and I have a sort of a share about Fiji and its food culture, and have a conversation about why I love it so much and why I'm cooking it for people and why I'm trying to get people hooked on it.